A message from the future. The air in Liam's small apartment felt thick and oppressive, a humid blanket despite the late hour. He tossed and turned, the digital clock on his nightstand a constant glowing reminder of the encroaching darkness. 3:32 a.m. He always hated that hour. It was the liminal space, the time when the veil between worlds thinned, or so the internet creepypastas claimed. He scoffed at the thought, yet a prickle of unease still traced its way up his spine. Then a faint vibration. His old flip phone, a forgotten relic he kept for emergencies, shuddered to life on the nightstand. Liam squinted. New message from unknown. His first thought was spam, a wrong number, but something held him back. The screen glowed with an eerie luminescence, too bright for such an ancient device. He watched, mesmerized, as the numbers clicked over. 3:33 a.m. A chill, sharper than any he'd ever felt, snaked through his room. He swiped to open the message. The text was a chaotic jumble of symbols, ancient hieroglyphs, and what looked like distorted Latin, swirling and shifting like smoke. He was about to dismiss it as a corrupted file when, slowly, agonizingly, a single perfectly clear English word materialized at the bottom of the screen, etched in a stark, blood-red font. Run. Liam's breath hitched. A nervous, high-pitched laugh escaped him, sounding alien in the sudden, profound silence of his apartment. Run? From what? His building was old, yes, creaky, but safe. The city outside was a distant, muffled hum, yet that single word, urgent and primal, clawed at the back of his mind. He typed a reply, his fingers trembling slightly. "Who is this?" The response was immediate, almost violent. The screen flickered, a burst of static, then resolved into a new message, words appearing so fast they seemed to burn themselves onto the display. "They are here! Don't look back! The future is gone! Run, hide, don't let them see you." Liam's heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the sudden, suffocating silence. This was no prank. The air around him felt impossibly heavy, colder than anything natural, as if a freezer door had just opened into another dimension. A faint, almost imperceptible metallic tang filled his nostrils. He gripped the phone, his knuckles white. "Who are they?" he typed, his voice a hoarse whisper. This time the reply didn't come as text. A video icon, pulsating with a sickly green light, flickered into existence. Against every fiber of his being, against the primal fear screaming in his gut, Liam tapped it. The screen filled with a maelstrom of static, hissing like 1,000 angry snakes. Then, slowly, terrifyingly, it resolved into a blurry, grainy image. It was a room, dark and indistinct, lit only by the faint glow of a computer monitor. He could make out a figure hunched over a keyboard, frantically typing, their movements jerky and desperate. The figure seemed frail, almost skeletal. Then, with a sickening lurch, Liam recognized the room. It was his own apartment, his desk, his worn-out chair, and the figure, their back to the camera, was wearing his favorite faded band T-shirt. It was him. Or rather, a spectral, emaciated version of him, his skin stretched taut over his bones, surrounded by what looked like pulsing, inky shadows. His future self, trapped, screaming into the void. A guttural shriek tore through the phone's tiny speaker, so loud it made Liam flinch, dropping the phone onto his lap. The sound was not human, not animal. It was a tearing, rending sound, like metal grating on bone. A sound that scraped at Liam's very soul, a sound that resonated deep within his genetic memory as pure, unadulterated terror. On the screen, his future self flinched violently at the sound, then slowly, agonizingly turned towards the camera. Liam gasped. His eyes were wide, bloodshot, dilated pupils reflecting an unholy terror that mirrored Liam's own. His lips were cracked and bleeding, forming words that were lost in the static, a silent plea for help. He clawed at his throat, as if trying to tear something out. Then the shadows surrounding him began to writhe. They weren't just shadows. They were entities, shifting and coiling like living ink. They coalesced, not into a single form, but into an amorphous, pulsating mass, vaguely humanoid, but with too many limbs, too many angles. Its surface seemed to ripple, reflecting no light, absorbing it, a vortex of pure blackness. Liam could feel its malevolent presence, a hunger so profound it radiated even through the distorted video, a hunger for flesh, for warmth, for life itself. As his future self's eyes glazed over, the last thing Liam saw before the screen went black was a single, monstrous, multi-jointed limb, obsidian black and impossibly long, slowly, deliberately reaching out from the swirling void. It moved with an unnatural grace, like a predator stalking its prey. It touched his future self's shoulder, and then his future self simply dissolved, like dust in the wind, leaving behind only the swirling, consuming darkness. The phone died in Liam's trembling hand, the screen as black as the void he had just witnessed. The silence in his apartment was no longer comforting. It was suffocating, heavy with an unspoken dread. Every creak of the old building, every distant siren, sounded amplified, distorted, like a mockery. He dropped the phone. It hit the carpet with a soft thud, a sound that echoed like a gunshot in the oppressive stillness. Then, from the corner of his eye, Liam saw it. A faint shimmer in the darkened hallway just beyond his bedroom door. A distortion in the air, like heat rising from asphalt, but cold. A shadow, darker than any shadow should be, seemed to stretch and shift, growing, consuming the already dim light. It rippled, pulsed, and then a single, impossibly long, multi-jointed limb, identical to the one in the video, slowly emerged from the inky blackness. It stretched, testing the air, its tip pointing directly at him. He didn't need another message from the future. He didn't need a warning. He didn't look back. Liam didn't scream. He didn't even think. He just ran. Out of his bed, out of his room, his bare feet slapping against the cold wooden floor, driven by a terror so absolute it consumed everything else. He was running not from a ghost or a monster, but from a future that had already claimed him, a future that was now breathing down his neck.